Yo, 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 yo. We back. Underworld Society, Underworld Class. Here with another interview. Interviewing everyday people from every walks of life. We call this segment Different Talks of Life. You know what I'm saying? So tell us, man, what's your name, where you from, how old are you, and what do you do?
Alright, so my name is Jameson, Francois. Jameson like the whiskey. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, born and raised in Dorchester. You know what I'm saying? And currently I am 24.
And what do you do?
I am a visual and digital artist, and I am a comic book artist.
Okay.
So, I have some of my work here with me.
Hold on, wait. So tell us
Okay.
what got you into art?
Alright, bet. Well, I think really, a lot of people look at it as a talent. In case it is, I really look at it as a gift. Really, because it's just something I love doing every day. I think every day, I'm either drawing in my mind, or I'm actually drawing on paper, or I'm chopping it up on the computer, or one way or another. It's like my art is my life is art, and that's how I like to live every day. And with various things that I do, such as physical drawings on paper or digital drawings online.
So, at what age did you start drawing?
So, visibly, I think I probably would say maybe around the age of 2. Just coloring, just messing around, stuff like that. Not really aware of anything, of course. As I'm getting older and, just doodling, practicing here and there. And again, it's just really like the love of just wanting to draw and create. Even on my days where I'm probably bored, I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Let me see some pencils right quick and chop something up on the paper. And as that time, it just began to evolve, and the more and more I did it, the more I loved to do it. And I was always open to showing people what I've done, and just always hearing the feedback, whether they like it or not. And then I think probably during middle school and whatnot, getting older, interacting with other kids and seeing the way that they would do art and whatnot, which was dope, because I'm like, yo, there's people that's better than me, whatnot. And when you're young, you're intimidated by that at first, but then as you progress through your years and you continue doing what you do, it's gonna just stick. It's gonna stay with you, and you're gonna learn to kind of admire and love that. That little sense of competition or that competitiveness, especially in any field, and especially when you genuinely love to do what you do, and you're just gonna only get better from there.
Dope. So, is there any artist out there that inspired you, that you looked up to, that you was,
I'd say definitely in real life, definitely offer would be Pro Black. A lot of people say that, but I've actually got the chance to be, in his presence and be mentored by him, even if it was for a short time.
Shout out
really
Pro Black.
Definitely shout out Pro Black, yes sir. And also the one that interviewed me during getting my job at AFH, which was my first job. So once again, shout out to you, Pro Black. You know what I mean? And as far as though artist wise, there's not too much to say, but I am thinking more locally. So the first one that definitely comes to mind is Kagan Luce and his comic book Lunchtime Comics. Definitely shout outs to him. Another person that pretty much like another mentor, if I'm being really honest. He was always doing things in the community.
Dope.
But in the case of the comic book sessions that he was doing, the most notably one, the Comics in Color, we would have events where we would meet at the Grove Hall Library, and there have people in the community come out with comic books that they've read, indie comics and whatnot, have people talk about their project and what they're working on. And it was a dope experience going, and then definitely from when I actually very first started this, I was able to showcase just a little bit of the what I was working on at the time, and it was just a dope experience overall. getting into doing comic books, like it was more on on the sense of like, okay, I want to write stories, I want to write mangas or comic books, and what I basically did now with the work that I have was kind of like that testing the waters for me to see what I've done, and then from there I move forward and learn from what I've already done from those experiences. And thus far, I'm glad that what I've done now, I've got to show people where I'm pretty much at, and I'm basically getting to learn from that experience and apply that to what I do in the future. And this is the comic book Erase, Volume 1, Chapter 1. That's it.
Alright, so how would you describe your style as far as art goes?
For style wise, very comic book wise, I like to do any type of art that I can, but for the most part, when you see it, visually speaking, I like to do a lot of black and white, heavy black art. So you'll see a lot of line work with a lot of my characters that I do, and or the buildings or the cars, in this case of my comic book. Definitely, a little bit inspired by hip hop, definitely for sure, but it has a heavy inspiration of anime. So you'll definitely see that within my work for sure.
Dope. Alright, what's your plans for the future as far as your art?
Well, one, to continue doing more art. Two, definitely with what I have going on comic book wise, continuing to move this forward, seeing where it takes me. Three, knowing that there's going to be other type of art avenues that I get into other than just this. And, I just, from here on out, I'm just going to continue to create.
And give us all your info, all your social handles, so people could see where.
Most definitely. So both for YouTube and Instagram, you can follow me and check me out at Laid Back Artist. Once again, that is Laid Back Artist.
Any message for the young artists coming up?
Love yourself, take care of yourself, and always stay active.